Hi, I'm Dr. Nisha Manish, Associate Professor, Meerut College, Meerut. And today I am here to interact on the topic poisonous and non-poisonous snakes and their identification. This topic, poisonous and non-poisonous snakes and their identification, is an e-study material for BSc second year and minded it is only for teaching purposes. So let us start with the topic. And before going into the topic, there is a beautiful quote about the snakes. A snake knows more about what is happening around than any other creature because it has no ears to listen to gossip, only direct perception. We must know this beautiful quote is by Jaggi Vasudev, and we must know about that the snakes they have no ears to listen. However, they have the inside the head, they have some vestiges related to the hearing. So they perceive the vibrations. And so this is the beautiful quote what the Jaggi Vasudev told. Now, let us start with the discussion about some poisonous snakes. So, what are the poisonous snakes and how they are different from that of the non-poisonous snakes? So, in brief, we will discuss it that all poisonous snakes have poisonous glands. They have specialized structures known as fangs, which are modified maxillary teeth. You can see the fangs here in this picture, and the picture courtesy is by YouTube and it is uploaded by Ojetro October 12, 2007. So you can see the fangs here. Except in sea snake, the tail is cylindrical. Instead of scales, head is covered with shields. Shields are nothing but these are the very large scales. They are the type of scales that are very large. The whole width of the belly is covered by ventral shields. Means ventral shields are the large ventral scales. Now let us have some example of these poisonous snakes. Some common Indian poisonous snakes are here. Cobra. We have all listened the name of the cobra very much. So most common poisonous snake known as Naza naza with a small head, a hood is present that is supported by ribs. You can see the hood here and the head is very, head is very small, but the hood is present that is supported by the ribs, and at the dorsal side of the hood, there may present a spectacle mark dorsally on the hood at the posterior. Here you cannot see the mark, but there may be present the spectacle mark on the dorsal side of the hood. So this is the cobra or Naza naza. The image courtesy by pixabay.com. Now the crate. Crate is very common. That is another poisonous snakes. It is found all over India. The commonest crate is Bangarus ceruleus. The zoological name is Bangarus ceruleus with large and hexagonal vertebrals. Vertebrals are again nothing. They are the scales that are present on the dorsal side, on the back, in the central of the back. Uh, these are known as the vertebrals. So they have the large and hexagonal vertebrals here. These are the vertebrals. They have the large vertebrals. Fourth infralabial is the scale that is present just below the rim of the lower jaw. So fourth infralabial is the largest one. Single subcaudal. Subcaudal is a scale that is present just below the caudal region. Dorsal surface is bluish black. with cross white streak, while ventral surface is white. You can see the streak all over the body. More poisonous than cobra. This image is taken by en.wikipedia.org. So here you can see the poisonous snake of India. There again, yes, you can see the largest pitless viper is here, and it is known as the Vipera russellii. It has distinct head, the triangular head you can see here, and it is covered by, you can see the very small scale all over the head. And it also has a yellow A mark here. It is not seen in the picture, the yellow color, but here it has a A mark here on the head. The nostrils are lateral. Subcaudal shield, if you see the back side here, you cannot see. We will talk in our later discussion, that identification. Then we will do the better. But here you can see in the picture that at the posterior side, if you go posteriorly, the subcaudal shields in two rows. If you see the subcaudal shields, that is in two rows. Fangs are large. Fangs are the poisonous apparatus. When we see the apparatus and we talk about the poisonous apparatus and the biting mechanism, then we will talk about the fangs also. So these are the fangs, very large and tubular. The pit viper is different as it has a loreal pit. It is a pitless viper, but if it will be the pit viper, then here there will be a big loreal pit between the nostril and the eye. So this is the difference between a pit viper and pitless viper. Both are very, very poisonous. Again, the loreal pit, if present in the, it is a pitless viper, but in the pit viper, the loreal pit is definitely present, and it is a heat sensitive organ. Heat sensitive organ, it is thermoreceptor. You can see in this slide some non-poisonous snakes. We have done the poisonous snakes, some example of poisonous snake. And now we will see some non-poisonous snakes like Typhlops. The example is Typhlops. It is earthworm like, about 175 centimeter long. So it is also known as worm snake. Snout, you can see here the snout and tail, they are both blunt. Snout is covered with, here you can see the snout is whole, eyes are very, very small, and snout is covered with large shields, and all body scales are very small. So due to very small eye, which are covered with the scales, it is also known as blind snake. The next non-poisonous snake is Tyas or Geminis. Tyas mucosus. The zoological name is Tyas mucosus, commonly known as red snake or dhaman. With a distinct head, you can see the distinct head and triangular head. And you can see the large regular shields also here and large eye. It feeds on frogs, birds, and mammals. Now again, there is an example of non-poisonous, very common snake, that is the Dendrophis. It is also known as the tree snake because it lives on trees, very elongated. You can see in the picture also, it is very elongated, up to 2 meters in length, head with nostrils, naturally nostrils are present, vertebral scales are larger. Here you can, if you can see on the back, in the middle, just in the center of the back, the vertebrals are large. Teeth are present. Feeds on frogs and lizard. The image courtesy by contribution to the natural history of Lebuan and adjacent coast of Borneo. Wikimedia.commons. Now python, very common. The largest non-poisonous snake is oviparous, means it lay eggs. The Indian python is Python molurus, commonly known as, we all know, ajgar. It may grow up to a length of 6 feet, lives on trees with a sluggish body, very sluggish snake. Tail is short and prehensile. Prehensile tail means the tail that is used to grasp or to hold the objects. Very strong and prehensile tail it has. A claw or spur is present on either side of cloaca. The behind the cloaca is present, and on either side of the cloaca, spur is present, representing the vestigial hind limbs. Body has dark brown and green spots. On you can see the spots here. Head bears shields on the anterodorsally, shields on the anterodorsally, big shields or the large scales, while scales on the posterior part. The posterior part, the head bears the small scales, while at the anterior, it bears large shields, and a spear-like mark is present on the head. An image courtesy by nitpics.com. Now, let us see the identification of poisonous and non-poisonous snakes. How will you identify between a poisonous and non-poisonous snakes? So let us see. First, we will see the tail. Tail is very important. Tail and scales on the belly, on the head. These all characters are very, very important as far as identification of poisonous and non-poisonous snakes is concerned. So let us see first tail. If tail is laterally compressed or oar-like, then it is definitely a poisonous snake, and it is a sea snakes. Particularly, it is a sea snakes. Example, hydrophis or N-hydrina. It may be a hydrophis or N-hydrina. If tail is cylindrical instead of laterally compressed or oar-like tail, if it is cylindrical or tapering, then further observations may be required, because it may be, it is a land snake, obviously, but it may be poisonous or non-poisonous. So we will further examine. For the further examination, we will see the belly scales. The belly scales are also known as the ventrals. So if the belly scales are small, continuous with dorsals, dorsals are the scales which are present on the dorsal side of the body, then the snake is definitely it is the non-poisonous one. You can see the belly scales, they are continuous with that of the dorsal. So if ventrals not fully broad to cover the belly, you can see here ventrals are not fully broad. These should be broad, but if these are not broad, then this is again non-poisonous, and example is python. But if ventrals broad and fully covering the belly, you can see here and here the full length of the belly, they covered full length of the belly, then again the further observations are required, because it may be a poisonous or non-poisonous snakes. Now we will see the head scales, loreal pit and subcaudals. We will see the scales on the head pit, whether the pit is present or not present, and the subcaudals means the scales that are present in the ventral side of the caudal region. So first we will see the head. If head is triangular with small scales on the head, and if there is no any pit, the loreal pit, then obviously it will be a poisonous one, and it is a pitless viper. You can see the example. This is a pitless viper. But if head with the small scales, a loreal pit is present between the eye and nostrils here, then it is definitely the viper. So you can identify. Head is here also, the head is triangular, but head with large shapes, and there is no loreal pit. Then again, the observations are required, and it may be a non-poisonous or poisonous snakes. Now see the picture, a poisonous and non-poisonous snake. Both have the triangular head here also, but you can see a non-poisonous snake with triangular head and large shields, large scales over here. And here you can see a poisonous snake with triangular head and small head scales. This is one of the character we can identify with. Now, again, our further observations will be the head. If head is triangular with small scales and no loreal pit is there, and then we will see the subcaudals. This is, if this character is there, there is the snake with poisonous characters, means the snake is poisonous. But if subcaudals are double, you can see here, ventral side of the caudal region, the subcaudals are double in the double row, then it is definitely the Vipera raceyi. If subcaudals are single here, you can see the single row of subcaudal, then it is definitely a poisonous snake. But and example is Achis carinatus. So, and again, if head with large shields and there is no loreal pit, then again we will see we will examine the head. If enlarged vertebrals are the dorsally present in the center of the dorsal back, the scales, these are known as the vertebrals. If enlarged vertebrals and hexagonal, if they have the vertebrals have the hexagonal shape, you can see here the hexagonal shape. And fourth, infralabial. Infralabial is the shield or the scales that are present just below the lower jaw. These are known as the infralabial scales. If fourth one is the largest, then it is definitely the crate. If vertebrals are not enlarged, although they had a large shield, but if we will see the vertebrals, if vertebrals are not enlarged like this, like this, if vertebrals are not enlarged, so, and third, supralabial. Supralabial means, infralabial means below the lower jaw, and supralabial means above the lower jaw. So if supralabial touches the eye and nostrils, then it is definitely poisonous. Again, we will see what type of poisonous snake is this. So if we see neck with a hood and spectacle mark, then it is definitely a cobra. You can see here. And if hood is absent like this is a hood, you can see, and this is a small head. This is hood. So if hood is absent, then, and there are spots, the coral spots on the belly, then it is definitely a coral snake. You can see the body of a coral snake here. And if no such characters, all these characters are absent, but shields are large, so it will be definitely a non-poisonous snake. A non-poisonous snake with triangular head with large shield. You can see the shield. These are the large shield. So this is all about, in a brief, how can you identify between a poisonous and non-poisonous snake, and references are here. I have taken my text from a textbook of vertebrate zoology by R.L. Kotpal, and all images in this e-study material are taken from internet by Google search. And credits my special thanks to all the people who made and released these awesome resources for free to me. The presentation template by Slides Carnival and photographs by Unsplash. So thank you very much. Any question, you can find me at drnishamanish@gmail.com.